Hi, my name is John. I'm a sales rep with Marmot, and this is a little video about different types of insulation that we use in our sleeping bags. Insulation basically breaks down into two categories, down or synthetic. And within each category, there's kind of different subcategories. So within our down insulation, the types of down we use are rated 650, 700, 800, 850. And we basically use a range of quality between 650 to 850 fill. Now that rating is simply an indicator of the quality and purity of the down. So I have two canisters of raw down here, and this is an 800 fill down, and this is a 650 fill. And what you can see in the 800 fill is that it's more white and more pure, and that's because it's more free of feathers. The 650 has a little bit of color mixed in, and that's because there's still a few feathers in there. And then we don't go below 650, but once you start going anywhere below, say, 500 fill quality, it starts to be more feathers than down. And down is what you want. That's what has great compression and loft. So the more pure quality down, the better compression and loft that bag is going to have. But it's also more expensive because it takes a lot of time to separate that down from the feathers, and so it's more expensive for higher fill power bags. Now the benefit of more compression and loft, we tend to use those 800 fills in our alpine mountaineering and best backpacking and even our expedition bags, because you need to be able to squeeze that bag down into a smaller space in order to have more room for other gear you might be carrying, such as climbing gear, rocks, harness, rack, rope, or backcountry ski gear, or if you're doing some backcountry fishing or stuff like that, versus if you're just backpacking, you might not be carrying that other gear along with you. So something like a 650 fill bag works great, and that's a great value for the price. On the synthetic side, there's a few different versions of synthetic. Now, synthetic is a man-made insulation, and it's flat. It comes on a roll, and you just pull it out in sheets and then cut it to the shape of the sleeping bag. So the reason on a synthetic bag like this Trestles, you don't get quite as much compression is because you're just kind of folding that synthetic insulation down, like trying to crumple a newspaper and stuff it in there, and you fold that down, and it doesn't want to fit as well. Whereas a down sleeping bag, you can just squeeze all the air out and fit it into a small space. There are different versions of synthetic, and even in some of our jackets, we have a synthetic called Featherless, which is a loose fill synthetic, so it's actually blown into the baffles in a similar way as down, and that's soon to be coming in our sleeping bags as well. One of the main benefits, however, of the synthetic is that it's less expensive, and it's durable, and it's also warm when wet. So that's a really nice feature of synthetic bags, or that they're warm when wet. On the down insulation, if it does get wet, it can tend to clump or lose its heat retention. Now, having said that, we do have Down Defender in our down bags, and all our down sleeping bags are treated with Down Defender. And what Down Defender does is it's actually a water-resistant treatment to the raw down itself, that if your sleeping bag does happen to get wet, that down is going to dry out faster. It's going to be more resistant to clumping, and it basically gives you a backup in case you spill your Nalgene or trip and fall into a creek. That sleeping bag with Down Defender will dry out a lot quicker, and you should still hopefully get a comfortable night's sleep. But I just wanted to show you the difference in an 850 fill down bag versus the Trestles synthetic. This bag's around a little over $100. This one's closer to $500, but this, using a premium insulation, just has so much loft at about the same temperature. That's a 10-degree bag versus the Trestles at 15. you can just really see the difference there in those insulation types. So hopefully that helps, and as you watch other videos, just keep in mind the differences between the insulations.